Now, one of the ugly parts of the versus battle is the fallout that came from it. And the fallout mostly, minus the laughs, is where shit got kind of real. Shit got kind of serious. So, but I think it started off as a laugh, but it didn't end that way. So B2K and Omarion, we have a checkered past, okay? And there has been some issue. B2K is almost like your modern day, with social media, new edition, not music and talent wise, but I'm just talking about just the fact that these four guys, basically grew up together and just cannot quite seem to get it to fucking together, are always fighting. And just again, confirmation that these boy groups can't, usually don't make it. Well, unless they can get past, unless they can get out of their own way, like New Edition has, it seems. And, but that's when motherfuckers is 50, 55 years old now. Like, we too old to be fighting and shit, so we might as well try to get this money together, But it takes a long time for people to get to that. So apparently, all of the members of B2K, which is RoeVsB, Lil Fizz, and J-Boog, that J-Boog is still nice. Yeah, nice. Ooh, he is fine. They had put on their Instagram, just basically, you got served. And then they put like, like somebody was going to school and they was writing on their tablet. And they all basically said the same thing. And they tagged Omarion. Well, I kind of got a little giggle out of it. I thought it was funny and everything. And I thought that that's what we was doing. But apparently that's not what we was doing because Omarion was upset about that. Okay, now we used to Omarion being on his whole zen. I'm fine. Don't nothing bother me. Peace and blessings. I'm over here with my tea and my shirt off and my sweatpants on and on the deck and giving it to you guys, sexy. Omarion came back and basically was just like, he is the lead of B2K, and they are the background dancers. Basically, he will be on his tour, and Mario is going to be opening for him. Let's not forget that. And because Mario the next day also was kind of clowning and saying things about Omarion, but it was all kind of like in good fun. But you could tell that Omarion's was, his just didn't feel like it was as much good fun as everybody else's was, okay? And I mean, nobody likes to be the brunt of a joke, so I get it. But sometimes it's best to just try to take the Ray J position and just laugh with everybody instead of, getting defensive. So, he just put all of this shit out there, and it was real shady towards B2K, basically calling them background dancers. Like, oh Lord, why he do that? Because, honey, that J-Boog was like, nigga, you not fixing to get away with this. Let me get my cliff notes together. Because, honey, can't nobody tell me that J-Boog was not ready. He had that shit ready to go, and he was just waiting for the time. He knew it was going to come. See, the whole thing is, I guess, the fact that they've all grown up together. They know each other very well. We all see Omarion, obviously, a different way than the way it is in the group. But that's how it is with everything. Like, you're not privy to what goes on behind closed doors. So they obviously have let the public think that Omarion was one way when, shit was happening totally different behind closed doors. And it is a long ass post. So I'm not going to read the whole post to you, but I'm just going to give you just a little condensed version of what he was saying. He basically was saying that Omarion always wanted to be the star of the group. As the lead singer, he always felt like he should be in the front. He should be the one that gets all the attention. He should be the one that's most loved. Now, a lot of people love Omarion. He has a huge fan base. But as J-Boog was saying in his long ass dissertation, he was like, J-Boog and Lil Fizz were actually the favorites of the group. Okay. And anytime that it came time down to an interview or something, J-Boog was the one to speak. Anytime they would have live, situations where they would see their fans and everything, everybody was all over Lil Fizz, and that it would bother Omarion because he felt like he was the lead of this group. He wanted to be bigger than the group. He wanted to, and we hear about that always happening with lead singers and all of that. People don't want to let the rest of the members shine. J Boog always felt like he was more humble than Omarion because he was just grateful for the opportunity to be in this group. So, you know, so he didn't really care. He was just glad to be there. But he just was like, Omarion was on just like, I'm a superstar thing. Then he gets to telling us how Omarion really wasn't even the one that was singing the songs. And there was somebody else named Steven who was singing these songs, or a lot of the songs. And I know it's plenty of you guys, charisma, okay? But I know it's a lot of people out there who are like huge B2K fans. So I want you to weigh in. You know, you guys out there who really knows, like, and just kind of explain, like, who is this Steven guy that J Boog was telling us about? And apparently, you know, Omarion was not even the best singer in the group, but he was, like, you know, featured in the front. Didn't mention anything about Chris Stokes, but I was just like, well, is that because Chris Stokes had put him up there purposely, you know, was making him shine as, because isn't he related to Chris Stokes in some kind of way? Him and Marcus Houston and all. That whole little group is all of them are so strange to me. The whole thing is so weird. And speaking of Marcus Houston, when Ray J was on that Instagram live with the guys, he mentioned how he wanted to have Marcus Houston at the Versus battle, but Omarion blocked it for whatever reason. I don't know what that's about. But, you know, they always go back and forth. That whole Omarion, Marcus Houston, Chris Stokes, and RoeVsWade, and, you know, all of the drama that goes on there. It's like the blood ain't never really that good. And I even think that J Boog said that on the first album, I guess it was the Steven guy. And then on the second album, J Boog said that he actually sang a lot of the album, but didn't really get the credit. Like he was the one that sang the hook on Bump, Bump, Bump. Baby, turn around and let me see that sexy body go bump, bump, bump. Baby, it's all right. Now, I know that's Omarion. But anyway, you guys, I mean, it's a whole lot. And you can tell that there's some hurt feelings there. It's some shit in there that he been wanting to tell Omarion for the longest. And he probably even has said this to Omarion, but it was like, now is the time to let all of the public know. It was shit that kind of hurt my heart for them because it was like stuff that we probably didn't really need to know, you know, and people can take it and make it feel like it's a little bit of a hater thing. I don't think that that's what it was, but you guys know I'm partial to J Boog, so, you know, that's my baby. I mean, I'm an old ass, you know, but I heard that J Boog liked the older ladies, so. I'm just playing. You have to just go on and read it. I'm sure you can find it on the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk. I mean, like all of those, you know, messy blogs, they all put it up. He ended up taking that long ass thing down, but I read all of it and I was just like, well. And I don't know where this takes B2K. You know, like J Boog was saying in that long thing, you know, that this brand is bigger than just any of us. You know, B2K. Omarion is his own brand, but B2K is the larger entity that makes it possible for everybody else to have their brands, you know. And he said that Omarion could never really grasp that because he was so busy trying to be the star all the time instead of just working with the guys, you know. So none of the other guys, I don't think, said anything. It was just J Boog. And I don't think Omarion even responded to that because they didn't need to keep that going in the public, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Is the Millennium Tour, is that still going on? Was that the name of it? Is that still going on? Because I know that they had a time when it was just Omarion, and then he brought the guys back in, and then at some point it was just him again. So I don't know where they stand on that, but it's not good. It ain't good right now, y'all. So I don't know, but child, I done talked about all of this. Y'all let me know what you think about that B2K thing. And if you guys know more about the whole B2K situation, feel free to weigh in the comments because I'm trying to understand this whole thing. I would like to see them boys, you know, with the fellas to work it out. Don't you? All right, you guys, next story up. So, Roe versus Wade. We got last Friday, it did come down from the Supreme Court that they were getting rid, they were abolishing, overturning, whatever you want to call it, Roe versus Wade. And that was the constitutional right that we women had over our own bodies, whether or not we made the decision to get an abortion. I didn't do a Top of the Blogs extra because, one, you guys know I hate doing videos on the weekend. Like, I hate it. And it was Friday, and I knew that all this shit was coming up. on Sunday. And I was just like, I'm not doing it because you guys know I've already talked about this. I already told you it was coming. Okay. Remember the damn document had leaked a couple of months ago, and we already knew that they were about to tell us that they were overturning Roe versus Wade. So I don't know why people, I mean, I wasn't shocked. We knew it was happening. I think that the reality hit everybody like, damn, they really did do that. Yes, vote 6-3. Okay. And one woman on that vote, which I still can't understand. But I mean, you know, people are entitled to their beliefs, and you know, so if she believes in pro-life and she doesn't want abortion, that's fine. But the problem that I have, and the problem that I've heard many other people say, is you can have your beliefs. Everybody has wrapped this around a religious belief that because I'm a Christian, that I don't believe in abortion, and, you know, so that is fine. But when you start making everybody else do what you do because of your beliefs, then that's the problem. Okay. Like, are we mixing church and state? So are you going to say that, you know, are your religious beliefs about to start making the laws of the land? That's where the problem comes in for me. You know, you can be fine. You can be pro-life. Okay. And I can be pro-choice. I'm not pro-abortion. Of course, I'm not saying that everybody out there ought to go and get an abortion. That ought to be their first decision and all that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a woman should have the choice whether or not they're going to do that. Okay. And so that is the problem that I have personally with Roe versus Wade being overturned. But I'm sure you guys already knew that. So that's why I was like, I'm not doing no top of the blogs extra. No. And of course, people are very upset about this. I mean, this is real stuff here. Immediately, I think they said it was 25 states that, you know, are going to absorb this new way, because they turned it over to the states. Now the states can be the ones to make the decision whether or not you can get an abortion. 25 states we believe, will be doing that. I think they said 13 states immediately went into effect, immediately triggered the law. Okay. And so as soon as the Supreme Court, you know, signed the paperwork and put it out there, then that was what it was. So people might have had an abortion scheduled later on that day. Couldn't get it done. Okay. If you was in that state, might have had it for that next day. Couldn't get it done. Somebody sent me on Instagram a post, I think it was from Facebook, but an example of this was that a doctor was scheduled to give an abortion, and then when that law went into effect, he didn't know what to do. A woman came in and she had an ectopic pregnancy, you know, and you can end up dying from that if the shit ruptures, you know, and then, you know, it's bad. So she came in, she wasn't scheduled, she came in as an emergency. And when the law went into effect, the doctor didn't know what to do, because he was like, I'm not fixing to lose my fucking license, you know? So they did not do the abortion, or they didn't do whatever the procedure was to make sure that this woman was okay. And apparently they waited so the doctor was on the phone with the lawyers and all this and trying to get this done. The lady's ectopic pregnancy, the fallopian tubes or whatever, ended up bursting. Okay, they ruptured. And now she really is in danger of dying. And I think they still had to wait some time before they could even do it, you know, and get her together. Because like I said, this doctor doesn't want to go to jail, you know, and now it's come down to, you know, him having to sit here and make this choice. They said that the staff was crying. Everybody was so upset, you know, but their hands was tied. And you know, and on the reverse side of that is like, is he going to get a malpractice suit now? Because you got this woman who is in dire need and about to die in your care, and you haven't helped her. So now does that mean that her family can come back and sue? I think she survived. I think she did survive, but what a harrowing experience, right? It's honestly terrible. And I hate that happened. Like I told you guys before, I'm in fear for my children and my children's children, like the young people that really this is going to affect more, you know, as a woman. Now, men, it can affect anybody to anything, because men can always get somebody pregnant. You know, you can be fucking 80 years old, jumping up on top of somebody and giving them worms, you know, but it's awful. It's awful. I know there's been a lot of talk about the people that are and have expressed that. Look, Kimberly Elise, I know that she is not pro-choice. She's anti-abortion, okay? And she's pro-life. And so she has expressed, you know, how happy she is that the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. Look, Kimberly Elise is entitled to her opinions and to her beliefs. You guys would be surprised at how many celebrities have different opinions and beliefs than you do. Okay, don't think that everybody believes the same shit. All right. But a lot of people just might not express themselves. Kimberly Elise took to her own social media and decided to express that. And she's been getting a lot of blowback and shit from that. I don't have a problem with her being pro-life. And that's her belief. But like I told you guys before, my problem is when people try to press their beliefs on you. Okay. She can be over there and be happy all she wants. Okay, I'm not mad at her and anything. Like, you know, that if that's what she believes, fine. Just don't say that that's what I gotta fucking do. You know, I know that they're working on trying to do all these appeals and all of that. I mean, once the Supreme Court lays it down, that's it, right? But we'll see. I don't know. But it's a dark time. It's a weird, strange time for our country right now. And of course, we know Clarence Thomas he's been tossing around different other things that he feels needs to be addressed, that he feels might not be constitutional as well. And, you know, we're kind of on this slippery slope. Shit can go, you know, they can start taking the rights of, you know, we know that gay marriage is on the table. And we know there are still some like racial rights that are going to be affected as well. Nigga want to take it back to segregation and all kind of foolishness. Now, I ain't looked it up, and so I don't have the official what's what on that, but that's what I hear anyway. So you guys, it's just bad, and you just need to stay prayed up. And all my girls out there who are at, you know, baby making age, ladies, women, I shouldn't just say girls, but you know, you're going to have to really take precautions now. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't even put yourself in that predicament. You know, make sure that you have your protection. I mean, you should have anyway if you weren't, but you know, I'm just reiterating, like, please make sure you take care of yourself, because don't nobody want to be in a situation where either they got to sneak off to another state to try to get it done or be doing some backwoods shit. You know, we don't want that either. So, just ladies, take care of yourself, please. But y'all let me know what you think about Roe versus Wade. Let's hear from some pro-lifers. I always like to get the other opinion. Y'all leave all that below. All right, you guys, next story. Wendy Williams. She's not well. She's not well. It's really nothing else I could say other than she is not well. She is not ready to be on anybody's podcast. She's not ready to really be on anybody's show hosting. Something is definitely off there. And I guess I probably have turned a blind eye to it because I really wanted to see Wendy, you know, back in her element and back like on, not necessarily on top because she's already been there. So it's just sort of like, I just wanted to see her have like this comeback and everything. And, you know, we all agreed that the podcast thing was perfect for her. And it was out there so much and people were saying it. And I think her and her team, you know, believed it and everything. So that was what they sought for her. And I was just really hoping that it was going to happen. And this TMZ interview that she did was, I was just like, she can't, I can't tell you exactly what the issue is because I can't quite put my finger on it. Okay. But something in her speech, the way she talks, like it's not, I don't know. I don't know. But I just don't know if she would be able to maintain even a weekly podcast. Sorry, you guys. I'm not even sure if she could maintain that with her health issues. And, you know, it's sad. I hate to even say it, but it feels like there might be some little mental it's something there. So there's something that's going on, and I just don't think that she's ready. And I know that she said that she's going to have the Wendy Williams podcast, but now I'm wondering if she's been shopping around this idea of a Wendy Williams podcast, or has somebody told her that they're going to give her a podcast deal, because that's two different things. Okay. And the more that she spoke yesterday, I mean, when I saw the interview, I was like, oh, now this sort of sounds like that's what she wants to do, but it's nothing that's really happening. You know, there's nothing that's making that happen right now. So yeah, it was, I was watching that, and, you know, and then she talked about her illness. You guys know she has lymphedema. And she asked them, did they know about it? It was Harvey and the other black guy. I never remember his name. But they didn't know what it was, so she showed her foot. And it was heartbreaking. I mean, she said that she has 5% feeling in her foot. Her foot was swollen really big. It was discolored. It looks like it doesn't even get really much circulation in that foot. I'm not real familiar with lymphedema. I know that it's swelling of your like appendages or whatever, but I don't know like the ins and out of it. But it looked like her foot was darker and it was huge, and it looks painful. And she said usually people with lymphedema, you know, especially if you have 5% feeling in your foot, I mean, you can't walk because you can't feel the ground. Like you probably fall a lot, and you can't judge where your foot is going, and, you know, all of that. So that is probably where we were getting remember they were saying that she was in a wheelchair, and all that is because her feet probably were giving her problems, and it didn't have much to, you know, we were thinking that it was something else going on, but it was really probably mostly about her feet. But, yeah, it was just heartbreaking. It was just like, I was just like, no. I don't want them to put Wendy out there for her to fail. And if there's a possibility that she may fail, then they need to just keep her where she is, protect her legacy. Like she said, she has enough money and she can sit around and do nothing for the rest of her life. So that's, I'm not saying that that's what she needs to do for the rest of her life, but for right now, child, and I don't know how long that right now will last, but I don't think that she needs to do that podcast. So did you guys see that interview? What is it that I'm getting from it? Because it just sounded like she just sounded off. She just sounded off. She ain't said nothing that was too crazy. I mean, she didn't say anything crazy at all, really, to me. But it still just sounded like, it really sounded like somebody that was really trying to make sure they stayed on task. Like they made sure that they, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But you guys have to let me know what you think about that. Do you think that Wendy is up to it, or do you think that the gig is up? Let me know. All right, you guys, next story. So there was an arrest warrant that was found that had never been served to the white woman who falsely accused Emmett Till. So you guys know the Emmett Till story. He was visiting his family in the South from Chicago. And apparently, I mean, the Chicago was not the South, obviously. And apparently they said that when he came here, he was in a liquor store. I mean, not a liquor store, like a market, corner store market or whatever. And it was said that he whistled at this woman. Okay. And then other people said that he grabbed the woman and said something lewd to her. So she went back and told her husband, and the husband and another man went on this rampage, went to find Emmett Till, kidnapped him, beat him up, and threw him in the lake, in the river or whatever, tied him to a fan so he was weighed down. They pulled his body out of the water some days later. We know the story, you know, his mom made sure that she had an open casket because she wanted everybody to see what had been done to her baby. Still can't even see those pictures to this day. Like, it's still in my mind. Like, I can see that picture in my mind right now. I can't even imagine as a mother being able to look at that. I had no way I'd be able to look at my kids like that. But, you know, she was making it a point, you know, because we were in the middle of our civil rights. We were about to embark on this civil rights movement. And so she was a part of that. And that family, you know, they have the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation, I believe is the name of it. And they have kept his name alive. They've kept that story alive. I mean, how many stories in history do you remember by heart, or, you know, remember pretty much the details on that we've heard over people that's happened over the years? That family has made it a point to keep that Emmett Till story going. We know that the men that were, you know, that was tried for it, they were acquitted. They never went to jail for it. It came out some years later. They did finally admit that they did kill him in a magazine interview. But I guess double jeopardy, they couldn't be tried for that. So, you know, that was that. And then the woman some years later had also finally admitted that, you know, maybe Emmett didn't do that. He wasn't the one, you know, all of this. All right. So, and that family has been trying to bring that lady to justice ever since. And she's in her 80s right now, but she still lives in the South. She's still alive. And like I said, this arrest warrant, it was never served. They were, the foundation was looking for evidence. And so they were in the courthouse that handled the case. They were in the basement and they found this arrest warrant in a file, just sitting there, never had been served. And the sheriff at that time said that they didn't serve it because he felt like the woman, what is her name? Carolyn Bryant Donham. Or Donham. He felt like because she was so young and she had 2 young kids that he didn't want to bother her. Okay. You didn't think it was a bother that this woman's son got beaten to death and thrown in a fucking lake and drowned and like, you know, but that's what they thought of us. You know, that was what they thought of us. So she never was tried or anything. They never served the warrant. But guess what? That Legacy Foundation was like, she's still alive. This is still a true warrant and it can be activated. You know, they said that the warrant has gone stale, but that's what the prosecution is saying. They don't want to even deal with it. But the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation was just like, you know, they're fighting because they want her, you know, arrested. And I'm just like, hey, baby, no time like the present. Okay, go arrest her ass and charge her. Okay, I'm an eye for an eye kind of person. So, like, you know, just because she's 80 years old, I mean, don't nobody want to see nobody super old in jail and all of that. But if you're guilty, you're guilty. And she caused a lot of pain for a lot of people back in that day. Okay, so I don't see no problem with it, honey. So I'm hoping that they get it done. It's seeming like they're not going to, though. Because the prosecution has no, they don't seem like they have any intention of trying that case. They don't even want to go there. But Blue done closed himself in the bathroom. You're going to hear him knocking in a minute. He's going to be scratching at the door in a minute. But anyways, you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that they just need to drop it? Or do you think that they need to act on this warrant? I had a whole thing all set up to talk about this, but then I just heard that the video. So there's the infamous video that I didn't even realize was infamous because I didn't know it was the big talk all over the place, but I've been so busy if I can work that I've hardly been on social media this week. But the video that this woman made where her baby daddy is bringing food to his son or his child, he's bringing McDonald's, but he didn't bring the food for the rest of her kids that don't belong to him. Okay. And she put him on blast. Like, look at this nigga. He coming up here and he bringing food for my, you know, his kid with me, but he don't realize I got 3 other kids or whatever. And they all hungry too. And how you not bringing food and blah, 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 blah. And she recorded him and he was just like, them ain't my kids. And she was just like, it don't matter. You knew I had them kids when you got with me. And I mean, she was making it seem like he was supposed to be taking care of the other kids. Now, I don't know if this is the popular opinion or not, because like I said, I haven't been on anything to really know what the talk is about this, but I'm going to give you my opinion and then I'm going to tell you something else. My opinion is yes, it would be nice if he would have brought the other kids food. Okay. You know, because when you just bring something for one child, you know, as a parent, I know the rest of the kids want some too, and it can cause a problem. Is he obligated to do it? Absolutely not. It probably would have been best that he picks up his child and took him to McDonald's and dropped him back off with the mama if he knew that he wasn't going to be dealing with the kids. But he doesn't have to do it. That's really the bottom line. It's very petty, and it's kind of mean to actually bring just something for one thing, but he's not obligated. And that's really the bottom line for me. And, the fact that she was fussing at him so much, like making him feel like she gave me the feeling that she felt entitled. It's like, nigga, I got all these kids. You supposed to bring. No. Your other baby daddies are the ones that should be taking care of them, and I'm taking care of mine. Okay? That's really the technical part of it. Like, no, you need to get out of this thinking. All right? And so I can understand why she would be upset, because she knows that her kids are all going to be upset that they didn't get the Happy Meal and everything. But the fact that she was going off on him and telling him what he's supposed to do and all of this, and she going to blast him to the world, girl. No. Okay. But anyway, I say all that to say, today I find out that was a staged video, that it wasn't even real. Supposedly this girl makes baby mama videos on TikTok for them to go viral. This one picked up. Okay. And that she had, that they was actors. I don't even know if that was a real baby daddy or not, that they was acting. Okay. So you done got this whole viral video going around and people having videos about it. I saw Scotty was talking about it on his live the other day. People was discussing and all this, and the shit wasn't even real. I mean, but it's a real situation. It does happen, I'm sure. But like, bitch, you done got up on TikTok and lied to go viral. The things that people do to go viral, it don't make no fucking sense. I'm telling you, this social media got people just crazy. Just got folks just crazy, just doing all kind of shit. But yeah, it wasn't even real. But let's act like if it was real. What do you guys think? Okay? Do you think that this man is obligated? Okay? Yes, I feel that it's petty not to bring the kids food, everybody food. But it's not his responsibility at the end of the fucking day. Call they baby daddies and tell them, I need everybody to bring a Happy Meal over here for your child, and let that be that. But please don't blast your baby daddy and put them on social media and then be arguing and yelling them down like, I have all these kids and why you not feeding them all? Girl, you got me fucked up. Girl, y'all go so fucking where? That Blue ain't tried to get out that bathroom yet. Louis just sitting there looking at the bathroom door like, you gonna come out of there? Which anyway, y'all tell me what you think about that. Leave it below. And then lastly, you guys, I am sorry to report that big boy Andre Patton and Shirlita Patton, big boy of Outkast fame, they have decided to call it quits. And have divorced after 20 years of marriage. Okay. Actually, they are already divorced. All right. We know back in 2013, Shirlita had filed for divorce from him. But then she withdrew the divorce. She withdrew it from the court because they had ended up reconciling and getting back together. But that didn't last long, because by 2016, they ended up separating, and they have been separated ever since. They said that earlier this year, I think they said in April, Big Boy ended up filing for the divorce, and the next month in May that the divorce was finalized, they had a postnuptial agreement. They was able to divvy up their assets and their outgoings, and they agreed on not telling their, they didn't have to disclose their financials or anything, and they had pretty much basically worked it out. And they also agreed that they wouldn't threaten each other out in public, that they were going to keep this all private. And this happened a few months ago, like I said, in May. They finalized everything, and they are divorced. So they are both single and free, but they've been separated since 2016. So, but that's sad, because I always, I used to see them as a couple and always thought that they were like, one of Atlanta's couples. But child, look, 20 years, I mean, y'all know we about to get to these numbers, right? And the kids is grown and gone, and you know, then it's just you two. It can either go one or two ways. You can either find yourselves back to each other because now you guys can connect, you know, just the two of you in your home, or you can be in the house with this nigga and be like, why the fuck am I here? The kid's not here. I don't like you. Like, why are we even pushing this fraud? Like, let's just let it go. And I think that that's where they were. And so they're done. They're done. So sad story, but you know what? They'll be fine. I know a lot of people love Big Boy. They loved him when he was married, child. So I'm sure they're going to love him while he's single. And she is also a very pretty woman. And so I'm sure everybody will land on their feet. But yeah, that's a wrap on that. All right, guys, let me get off of here. I don't even know if I'm going to get this video up today, which is Thursday. I'm going to try really hard, but we'll see. We do this every single week. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.